while y'all coming in. I think it's better up there. Yeah. I was coming on at 7. Ms.V done got a straight headache, but I hope by the end of this live, it'll be gone away. I'm forever having to deal with some kind of crisis. All was well. All was going great today till about 20 minutes before time for me to come on live. And I'm a little bit late today. I was early yesterday, a little bit late today, but that's the story of my life. I got to deal with what is when it happens. I got a call from one of the little girls that grew up in my house, Miss Sharonda, to tell me that Granny had passed. Granny, to me, Miss Callaghan, was a mother, grandmother to my daughter. She was one of my babysitters back in the day. I got a little angry because I didn't even know she was sick. Nobody had called me until the day the lady passed away on Friday. So I had to calm myself down while I was talking to Sharonda because it was like, look, you should have called me. That lady was like another mother to me. So here I am dealing with death and dying again. You better learn how to deal with it as you age because you're going to have a lot of it. It's out of your hands. It's out of your control. People come here born to die. So that's what I've been dealing with for the last 20 minutes. So that's why I'm a little late and I do apologize. Let me turn this phone down in case it rings again. Okay, it's all good. Hello to everybody coming into the chat. I'm giving y'all a few minutes to get in. Let me read right quick if I can drink alcohol with this medication. Because if I can, I'm getting me some wine tonight. I need it. Okay? Keep my nerves in check. That, of all things, I was not expecting. Today had been a great day. I didn't go to therapy. I thought I was supposed to go to therapy, but I went to the doctor next door. And he kept me out on light duty. And I have therapy tomorrow. So that's the condition now. Don't say nothing about I can't drink. Okay, that's a great thing because I need a glass of wine. Help control my mind. Okay. Good evening to everybody coming into the chat. Last night we talked about the 50s. I can drink wine. And tonight we're going to go to the 60s, okay? You're going to find that the 50s and the 60s are quite a bit different. The 60s, we was happy. Everybody was just doing great. We were post-war babies, baby boomers, and people had come back home, made a whole bunch of children, so we had lots of people to play with. Everything was good. You're going to find that the 60s is a little bit more different than the 50s. Just one decade, which is 10 years, made a big difference. Take one tablet by mouth every day for 30 days. Okay, only once a day. That'll work too. The shot must be working because I haven't been draining like I was, and all is good. All is good. Hey to everybody coming in. You were born in 1963, Misty? Okay. Let's see what you're saying. Miss Millie say, hello, good evening to everyone. We're digging in for dinner, but here, if any mods come in, I may need a hand. We getting messy for this meal. Do what you got to do, Auntie. I got it. If nobody comes in, I'll make a mod. I'm good. Do you? Enjoy your dinner. Let me run back up and speak to everybody that came in right quick. Hey, Sting, Elaine, Misty. Thank you, Sting. I appreciate that. Look like that's all I've been doing is going to funerals every Saturday and burying somebody I know. But that's what happens too when you know a lot of people and you're affiliated with a lot of people. That when I came here in 1978, I actually met her daughter at the daycare where my daughter was going at the time. And I don't know who fell in love with who. I don't know if Brandy fell in love with Jeanette or Jeanette fell in love with Brandy. But they had a strong relationship. It was a bond to the point that there was another one wanting to take her home all the time. And she did. When I met her. So I always had a babysitter. Just she didn't live very far from where I was living at the time, so it was all good. Hey, Miss Aretha. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Miss Jackie, Miss Joy. Thanks to all of you. I appreciate that. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. You got it, Misty. Exactly. And that's the goal we all are trying to get there. We are not in no hurry, but we want to be around, somewhere around him in our last days. Going to get that mansion in the sky that he promised us. But he never said you was gonna make it. He said, I'm going to prepare a place for you. Now, whether you make it, that's on you. Okay. So don't come out here talking about you got a home up there. You ain't got nothing till you get judged in the sky. And he say, Ms. V, I'm gonna let you go up there and be the greeter. I'm gonna let you be the doorkeeper. Okay. You used to do that at the church. So I think I'm gonna let you on in. And it'll be all good. If he said, no, ma'am, you didn't quite make it, all I can do is just drop on down and burn eternally. That's it. So I ain't trying to do that. Like I said, I already lived through hell. Trying to do that no more. Righty Auntie is speaking to everybody. Chef Mac is in here, Auntie. She already on her job. Thank you, Chef Mac. Brittany is in the building tonight. The food, I haven't even eaten it yet, Auntie. It's still in the refrigerator. I gotta go warm it up and eat it. But I don't do good eating on live. I'm too. I don't want food to show on my mouth and drool and to waste it on me if I do all that. So I eat when I get off the live. It'll still be pretty early where I'm probably not gonna go to bed until after 12 because Sharonda said when she left Texas City she was gonna come back here and talk to me. So I'll be up late. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Carol Anna, thank you for coming in. So I got two mods now. Candy Jones is in the building. You liked and shared. Thank you, Brittany. I appreciate that. Now, let me tell you about today, too. I told y'all don't make that announcement too early. When I looked at it the last time, it was 4,997. It's got to be some evil people. We over here talking about the 50s. We over here talking about separation anxiety. You can't stop me from getting the 5,000. I promise, because I'm going to 20. And that ain't going to be long. So keep doing what you're doing. All you telling me is you don't belong over here with the sugar woogers and the people over here. That's all you telling me. I've had many to leave. I had 200 and some to leave in one day. Ain't stopped nothing. 14 months, I'm at 5,000. Like it or not, okay? You don't like the topics, you ain't got to come over here. Use your head. Keep it moving. Go find you a channel you like to watch. It's just that simple. Hey, Diane Fisher, you like my hair? I appreciate it, Diane. Just something different. I got bored with the little short hair and the color. Joyce say, I'm a 1960s baby. All right, we'll walk on through this thing with me tonight then. Come on in the house. Let's do it. Okay. Hey, everyone working, much love. Okay, Chef, I appreciate you just stepping in and letting us know you all right. Things are great. If you working, baby, you're making money. It's the name of the game. It pays the bills. Miss Veronica always hits the like button and she want to let me know she in the building tonight. And I appreciate you, girl. Always. Ms.V going on the way to the YouTube silver play button. You got it. I already spoke it out into existence. Why not? Yeah, I need to have my butt over there on Facebook too, doing this simultaneously. Because I promise I grow faster over there than I've grown over here. I know more people over there. I don't know why I can't get it in my head to go on over there and do both of them at the same time. I got to do things when I'm ready. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Did I speak to everybody who's in the house? Things say ring that bell. Let's talk about it. We're going to ring that bell. That's the like button up in the right-hand corner. If you got an Android, it is down where the hearts are. If you got what's that other phone called? Y'all know what the other phone is. Android and what the other phone? iPhone. Yeah, that. Okay. Hello, Amelia. How you doing, Amelia? Welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Let's get into it, y'all. Because I ain't going to be in no hurry to talk about the 60s. The 60s is a whole lot different than the 50s. So we'll take a station break if we have to let you go get your beverages. Right now, I got spring water. But I'm not telling y'all how long this water going to make it. Because I got some wine sitting right over here. I got a glass sitting right over there. So if I have to stop and pour, I will. Okay? I'm going to keep my nerves in check. Whatever it takes. Okay? Let's get into it. So y'all saw the hashtags when you came in, I guess. So the 60s were a time of turmoil. We just came out the 50s making babies, building houses, buying our first cars, doing the first barbecues, just having a good time. Just like black folks, we changed that thing. Sure did. The civil rights movement came about. People got tired of not having equal rights. That's what happened in the 60s. Ms.V, I entered the 60s. I am a 69 baby, which I heard was a very good year. 69 probably was, because you're moving into the 70s. Now, if you were born from 60 up to 69, so you were just a baby. If you were born in 69, you don't know nothing about it. You will know about the 70s tomorrow night, okay? But we were kind of coming out of it in 69. And that was a radical movement of the hippies moving in. We're going to talk about all of that. Then we're going to talk about the music, the culture, how they dressed, movie theaters, drive-in movies, TVs. Color TVs came in the 60s, early 60s. I think my family had the first color TV in 63. And it was a whole lot better than watching that black and white box. Yeah. So let me go on and get into my commentary here while y'all coming in. And then I'll do my commentary. I'll try to catch some of the comments as I'm going along. If not, I'll try to go back and reach some of the comments. Y'all know I don't like to stay out here for a long time. Just a good time. That's it. Because the replays be too long. And then they got to throw all them advertisements in there and all that good stuff. So I'm not going to say I'm going to stick to an hour. I'm going to stick to the end of my commentary and try to read all the comments. If it take an hour and a half, it take 2 hours a night. I don't care. I ain't got nothing to do but go eat and wait till Sharonda show up. That's it. That's all. So let me get some glasses here. Because y'all know I can't see. No, these ain't no Gucci glasses. I know y'all watch everything. I had some Gucci glasses back in the day. These readers, they probably cost $4, whatever, $5. Yeah, that's all I need now. And got lens in the eyes, permanent lens in there, like a contact where I can see. But I still have a problem with small letters, very small. And this stuff on this screen is very small. And I don't want to make it big because then it'd be taking up the whole screen. Y'all know I got to take a minute and clean them because you know they ain't clean. I have the dirtiest glasses and do. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They clean now. They see straight through the thing. Okay. So we've already talked about the 50s and how that era went. So now tonight, let's move on into the 60s. The 60s was still in the post-war WW2 era, and the Cold War had ended. So things were still good. But we didn't have our civil rights. We didn't have equal rights like everybody else. So stay tuned. Stay here. Hi, Tommy. Bless you, ma'am. Have a good life. Thank you. I appreciate that, Tommy. The 60s explores the landmark era of cultural, political, and historical events. The one and most important event that you'll remember about the 60s that comes to my mind is the assassination of President Kennedy. I can never forget it. I was 4th grade. I can even tell you the teacher's name, Etta P. Jackson, who was also the librarian at my elementary school, came in the class and announced it. And we all just fell out crying. We didn't know the man. We was little kids. But he was the president of the United States. He had been assassinated in Dallas, Texas, by somebody we don't know. They say with Lee Harvey Oswald. We really don't know who really did it. If you've ever been to the book depository, if you live near Dallas, go. It's an interesting historical event. I kind of went there and I looked and I was trying to see that aim that he had and the motorcade coming through, which was a convertible back then. And I could see he had a straight shot. So go there. Try to catch some of these historical events when you're out and about and on vacation. Okay. That was the first thing that registered in my mind. And then his brother, Bobby Kennedy, was assassinated. That's two brothers now. On June the 6th, 1968, he was assassinated. His brother, Bobby, was as well for civil rights. And he also worked for his brother or with his brother, however you want to say it, in the White House. Okay. I visited the grassy knoll and the library. It's a tight, small area. Yeah, and that book depository is left just like it was on that day. Kind of has a little smell to it. Just like when I went to Memphis to Elvis's place. They left that place just like it was. And where his office was back there in the back, it smells like old paper in there. Okay, the next event would have been Medgar Evers in 1963. Also an activist, killed in Jackson, Mississippi. Y'all that are from these places or know about these places, who have been in these places, the South was rough. The difference in the North and the South, from what I can see, is that the North did racism silently. It wasn't so outspoken as it was in the South. Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, very racist coming up as a child. So the next one would have been Malcolm X in 1965, February the 1st, to be exact. Another human rights activist. All these people are being assassinated. They are going out there struggling for our race, Black people. Were we even called Black then? No, we were still colored. We was coming out of colored into Negro. That's probably the two ways they described us back in the 60s. We definitely wasn't Black, and wasn't nothing about no Afro-American back then. You were either colored or Negro, okay? And most of the older people were still calling themselves colored. Me coming up in small town Louisiana, there was still colored water fountains in the department stores and colored signs for the people who wanted to go and eat in the restaurant. You could go, but you had to go through the back door and you were in a separate room. I remember that. Never, ever was able to go into one. My daddy refused to go through a back door and wouldn't do it. I remember this steakhouse being across the street from the post office. That would have been downtown Monroe. And that steak was smelling so good. And I'm like, Dad, can we go over and eat there? And he was like, no, ma'am. What do you want there? I said, I just want to go in there and eat. He said, well, when we leave here, you tell your mama what you want to eat and we'll go home and we'll prepare it and you can eat it there. I am not going through the back door for nobody. They'll never get my money. Got on in this little pickup truck, went on in the post office, did what we had to do, got in the truck, went home, and she cooked steak that day because it was a steakhouse. That's how it went down. Bobby Kennedy was also a U.S. presidential candidate. Hold on, let me flip my pages over here. Y'all know I have to write this stuff down. One day I'm gonna get too good on y'all. I'm gonna go get me a teleprompter and put it on the wall. The problem is where the hell I'm gonna put it. Okay. Then the next one in 1968. All of this is in the 60s. Keep this in mind. Would have been Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. April the 4th, 1968. Okay. And a civil rights activist killed in Memphis, Tennessee. I've been there too with the old Cadillac sitting out at the Lorraine Hotel. At the year I went there, they were not letting you go up in the room. You could only look at it, take pictures from the outside. And then they had started a little museum there. I don't even remember what year it was, but I remember it was the year I went up to take my sister. She had moved from Monroe to Birmingham, and we stopped through Memphis and went down Beale Street and toured Memphis. It wasn't nothing like it. We talking 2 women and 2 children together. Had no problems whatsoever. Today, I wouldn't dare do that. Not in Memphis. You got me twisted if you think so. Allow me to take a moment to mention others you may not have been aware of. There were a lot of people other than the figures that you know of that, accidentally got in the history book. I remember that one. It was so sad. Yeah. It's still there, Miss Lieber? Okay. All right. Herbert Lee, August the 12th, 1961, in Liberty, Mississippi. Now, I don't know. I ain't been to some of these places. And I didn't have time to look up the location of Liberty to see what city it was close to. So if y'all know, y'all can put it in the chat. Okay. American civil rights and voting rights activist was who Herbert Lee was. All these people were assassinated for civil rights now. Another person was William Lewis Moore, April the 23rd, 1963. American protesting racial segregation in Atalia, Alabama. Never heard of it. Don't know where it is. But he got out there and he did what he had to do. And these Black people were not afraid. They knew when they went out there, their chances of coming home was very slim to none. Lewis Allen, January 31st, 1964. Another civil rights activist, Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson was awful. Today, great. I've taken my little nephew, O'Brien, to Jackson when he turned, I guess if he would turn 21, maybe. We went to the casino over there, the little boat they got right up under the bridge there. And that was his first time going into a casino. And Auntie took him, okay? We drove over, he drove back. We stayed 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. He simply enjoyed himself. But now, since he's in the legal system, he ain't about that life. No. The next one is Andrew Goodman, 6/21, 1964. Another civil rights activist. Didn't say what city, it just said Mississippi. Mississippi was awful, folks. And some of them little towns down in there today in 2024, I ain't stopping. I don't need gas. I got sense enough to get it in the bigger cities, Vicksburg, Jackson. I ain't finna do that. I can get it in Jackson just before I hit that Louisiana line. I'll be good getting home. And Louisiana is pretty much okay for the most part now. It's racism there, but they keep it on the down low. Michael, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right because I ain't have time to Google it and find out. But I'm gonna say Shawarner. It's Schwerner. Sounds German to me. I don't know. 6/21, 1964. Black man. American civil rights activist. Philadelphia, Mississippi. Been through there. Okay. James Reeb, March the 11th, 1965. You can look at this and you can go back and you can Google it and you can see what these people did. I'm just telling you who they are because they have never been mentioned. We just went through Black history and I told y'all I was going to keep it going anytime I felt like it because there's so much that we as a people don't know. We ain't got no home. We have to claim America as our home because we can't claim Africa. They don't want us. Be honest. Be real with yourself. Okay? I'm not saying they're not good people, but we are not of them. We have been deluded. Okay? So they brought us here from Africa to America. And so we have to claim it as our home. We got nothing else. Viola Linsou, March 25th, 1965. She was the first woman that I found that has not been mentioned out here in the history books. American civil rights activist, Selma Alabama. Now, you know Martin Luther King marched in Selma, so you know Selma ain't nothing nice. Okay? Then, I don't know about now. I'm speaking then. Jonathan Daniels, August 20th, 1965. Another activist. Haynesville, Alabama. Alabama wasn't too cute either, okay? Sammy Younger Jr., January 3rd, 1966. Another activist. For voting rights, Tuskegee, Alabama. Vernon Damon, January 10th, 1966. I'm taking you through the 60s. How many people were assassinated for you to be able to vote and you to have equal rights? You think I'm going to mess it up? You think I'm going to come out here bashing anybody? I won't look at them first. I get up and around them first. I went through part of this in the 70s, which we'll talk about tomorrow. I ain't doing it. I don't care who does it. That's not who I am. Okay? Robert W. Spike, February 27, 1966. Another activist, Columbus, Ohio. I told you it was across the United States. It's just the North, East, and West Coast weren't as bad as the South. The South, it was blatant. The N-word, colored, boy, girl, and you're a grown-ass woman and man. That's what they did. Worllis Jackson, February 27th, 1967. An American NAACP chapter treasurer, Natchez, Mississippi. Okay, we're almost to get there. We're in 67, so we got to get to 69. Fred Hammond, 12-4, Hampton, 1969, American civil rights activist. Chicago, Chi-Town, the Windy City, Illinois. So I just gave you, that's the end, 1969. So I just gave you a list of assassinated human rights activists of the 60s. Keep in mind that there were politicians in other countries as well that were being assassinated as well for the same cause. Okay? The 60s became chaotic, to say the least. It was a decade of assassinations, which I just read a whole bunch of names that you may not have even heard of. Being a civil rights leader in the 1960s put you in the grave very early. It was dangerous. The number of people who were angered by the civil rights movement was vast, and many violent occurrences until their demise. There were many protests around the country. And by the way, Medgar Evers was only 37 years old when he passed. At the maturity and the willingness to die for their country. So I guess I should ask this question. Stop everything, hold the ship down right here in the middle of the ocean. Hold it. How many of you think that you would have been bold enough to get out there and march, protest, and try to have equal rights? Just put a 1 in the chat if you were bold enough. Because it took guts. Remember, these people had families at home with many children they had made back in the 50s. These were little children when they went out there. Okay. So let's take a look now and leave the civil rights movement and go into the fashion history. A little bit more exciting, a little bit less grave than the first part of it. So let's move into the fashion history timeline from 1960 to 1969. Fashion was the bomb.com back then. And Ms.V tends to love the 60s area. Everybody a little bit younger than me want to drop back to the 70s. I'm a 60s girl when it comes to dressing. Oh, by the way, Valencia, you put it out here that you wanted my address and I showed them the gift. But this is from Valencia, y'all. And I got earrings and I don't know why they keep turning the wrong way. But I told y'all I had earrings to match. So I put it on today. So you know I'm wearing it, girl. I wear everything. I don't be saving it. It looked like it'll match to me, so I put it on. I might not be here tomorrow. I'm wearing my stuff today. If y'all happen to get it, it's used. All right, so let's go to the fashion era. Let me get me a Kleenex. And it's still itching. I guess that's the allergies that he diagnosed with me with today. So anyway, fashion in the 1960s began to become more casual. Remember in the 30s, 40s, no. In the 40s and 50s, they dressed to kill. Everything, head to foot, stockings, heels, the coats that they wore, simply gorgeous. Men and women both dressed in the 40s and the 50s. But things are changing now in the 60s. You'll find them getting a little bit more casual. So if you go back and you see any 60s movies, watch how they dress, different from the 50s. Okay? So the women followed three trends: a continuation of the previous decade, which would have been the 50s, ladylike elegance. The youthful styles. Mary Quant, a fashion designer, designed the miniskirt. Ms.V wore plenty of them. I'm so happy I came up in that era. Yeah, that miniskirt. And wasn't no shorts up under there either. The miniskirt came midway your leg, but they could go to micro minis. Yeah. Better have some clean underwear on too. I ain't playing with you. And the space age influence was all about the 60s. The hippie style came in. It didn't matter. I'm talking about casual. You could have on a striped shirt, some flower pants, those platform shoes were starting to come out. Look at Soul Train. Look at those shows from back in the day, those syndicated shows. Go back and look at how the people dress. Soul Train will show you a lot. And most of those people came out of California. California is always the start. They jump things off. So if it can happen, it's gonna happen there first. Let's see. Those tight fitted slacks, the men are back. Exactly. I was getting to that next. The men's wear saw an increasingly amount of color. I can remember my brothers having these old jersey type shirts, and they were real colorful shirts and had all kind of stuff on them. They was busy shirts. And the pattern of the military wear came about in the 60s. Michael Jackson wore it to the end. It's certain people out there I love military style clothing. I have a few jackets in there that's military, double breast and single breast with the stripes on them. I even have my ex's Navy jacket that he wore when he was in the Navy. And I just took his name off. And what else did I take out? His stripes, I guess. But I love that jacket. And I like to wear it with blue jeans. Okay. So we got rock star influence coming into the 60s also. Ponchos and moccasins. Right, Sting? I'm catching a few of them as I look up. The children's wear saw less change, but also became more casual and bright in color and patterns. That Jackie O look came in also. She was a young woman. She was in the White House. She was the president's wife. So, anytime the president's wife starts something, remember Michelle Obama when she wore that little casual dress out there and the store sold completely out within hours because she wore it. Okay. And she told where she got it from. Okay. So it was that classy look was just kind of phasing itself out because they're more concerned now with equal rights. And they ain't trying to wear no suits out there, They might wear the suit pants and the white shirt, but that's about as far as they were going to go. And it was hot in the South. Everybody got no time to be wearing all that stuff out there about to fall out. There ain't nobody bringing you no water. They might be spraying water on you or spraying tear gas on you. Ain't nobody running out there saying, it wasn't no plastic things back there. They didn't bring you no water. They'd have had to bring you a cup of water, a glass of water. Stay with me. Styles were skimmed to the body. Necklines were high necklines, like the turtleneck, high scoops, and high cowls. The big neck turtlenecks. They kind of, lap over. Backs were lower. Not a lot's going on. Not a lot of fabric back there. And what else was happening? Oh, that was especially for evening wear. The princess line feature was popular in many styles. They also wore dashikis. Yes, ma'am. That was the thing. Ladies and men, both. More so men than women, but the ladies wore them too. Sting right up on it because Sting is a historian. The fabrics were brocade, satin, and chiffons. The suits were worn over a men's tight shirt. Now that right there, when I used to look at my brothers and stuff, I'd be like, man, that shirt too tight. You gonna bust out of that thing going out to the club. Yeah, they some kind of managed. I guess they were stiff dancing. I don't know. I was too young to go. Under a parka. So they wore these tight shirts underneath a parka. Pants were usually tight, with Levi's being the only serious jean in the scene. The women wore miniskirts, like I've spoken before, brightly colored go-go boots. I had some little white ones. When I went to see James Brown in 1968, me and my little sister had on an orange wrap dress. The dress came around and wrapped around you. You got sleeves in, and it had white piping, and we both had on some little white go-go boots. I had made both of our outfits, and that's what we wore to the James Brown concert. Yep. I think my little sister had a better time than me because she got out in the aisle and was dancing. We didn't have to worry about nobody snatching no baby back then. And plus, my brother had just come back from Vietnam and he was working the concert. So, like I told you, we got a chance to go back there and see James Brown. That's how he made his overtime back in the day when he first started the police department. Linda Bess is saying yes. Okay, and what else we got going on? Solid biometric patterns with light filling sleeveless tunics. The accessories were statement pieces. The sunglasses, I always like to go find different and eccentric sunglasses. I told you I love that 60s era of dressing because you can dress it up or dress it down. That's how I learned to dress up or down. Coming into the 50s and watching them, still a lot of them still dressing out of the 50s and the 60s. And I kind of stopped there. I didn't get into that 70s stuff and them dashikis and all that. I wasn't going for that. They had chunky jewelry. And that stuff could be heavy because of the metals that it was made out of. Okay? Should see what my daughter wants to wear to Chris Brown concert. Let her wear it, Keisha. She'll probably be a trendsetter. Yeah. She will probably do fine. I'll be like, baby, check a tail feather. You gonna look good out there. But ain't nobody gonna be dressed like you either. I like to make statements. I don't want nobody dressed like me. I used to have a girlfriend used to go shopping with me. And she always wanted to buy what I wanted to buy. And I'm saying to myself, hell, I ain't no twin. Yet you got no taste of your own. I loved it the other day when my little nephew said, when I was talking about his eyebrows and them cuts in there. And he was like, I saw a man with one, but this is my own style. He 11 years old. I like that. Have your own stuff. You ain't ever got to worry about what nobody else got if you like what you got. Yeah. Chain belts. I got a lot of them, Sting. All silver and gold mostly. But I got a lot of different designs of them. I like to wear them down on the hips on straight dresses today. I am paranoid about abductions these days. I hope she's going with somebody and not alone. She needs to have somebody there to tell the story. Somebody to go into the bathroom with her. Somebody to come out. I never let my daughter go out alone. There was always some guy, some girl. Okay? And she had as many guy friends as she had lady friends. They were just friends. She even had a gay friend back in the day. Daryl could go up there and get in the bed with her. I didn't care. What was he going to do? He ain't want her. Yeah, I'm a very realistic person. He took her to the prom. I ain't have to worry about nothing. They just out having a good time. Best friends to today. He had brain surgery in Houston. She flew out of Nashville here to the hospital where he was, called me up after the surgery to let me know he had had surgery. That kid grew up in my house. Love him to death. When I got ready to sell my rent houses, guess who bought them? He did. Only 20, probably 23, 24 years old at the time. He making his first investments. He bought one and he came back and bought the other one. And he hadn't been working but a couple of years. Great investments because I kept the houses up and I let him have them for little or nothing, 20,000 a piece. I'm helping him. I just need enough money to get this girl through this first year here. That's it. In that second year, because 20 took care of the first and the second year, okay? Now I'm going to figure out the third and fourth, but I got the first and the second all taken care of. Ain't no student loans, ain't none of that. Don't do that. She did it anyway, but we had a talk. And hair accessories added flair to the outfits. You see a lot of hair accessories today, but you don't see a lot of women wearing hair accessories. Maybe something if they're going out, they may have a rhinestone, something, but just every day, you don't see that. But you see Ms.V loving hair gear since she been out here. The hats, the caps, the bandanas, the scarves, all of that. I love that era. The color of the 60s was mellow yellow. Without a doubt, vibrant colors were in vogue. Remember, we had magazines back there. We had patterns back there. McCall's, Vogue's, Butterick, those were patterns. A lot of people were sewing because they still hadn't gotten out into the workplace. So they saved a lot of money because patterns were cheap back then. And the material didn't cost that much. So they sitting at home, they could make their kids' clothing. She needs someone with her because there are some widows out here, which is sad because you should be able to dress in whatever you like. I know that's real. Don't sit out there by yourself. The beehive hairdo. Yes, thing. The hair is the accessory. Yes. And the hairstyles were quite different back then too. Go back and look at those hairstyles. When I was in the beauty shop, I used to always, when I was in there, the French roll was a big thing. And especially updos and stuff like that. I did a many of those in the day for those girls going to prom, people getting married, and just going out to parties and stuff like that. But I'd always go back to those old hairstyles, and I might do it similar, but put my own little thing to it, my own little twist. And when I wheeled them around, they were like, "Oh, I love this, Ms.V." I was like, "All right, give me money, honey, and have a good time." Yeah. Okay. Yes, I sewed and I made my own outfits. Most of us did. I got a brand new sewing machine, a singer in there in the closet now. And I've been trying to take out for the longest. Was gonna make my curtains, still didn't do it. It's finding the time. When I want to sew, I want to sew. I want to put the machine up and I want to get to a certain point before I stop. I might make the whole thing and get to the hemming. Well, that's a whole different process. That's done on my hand. I don't hem on the sewing machine, even though that sewing machine I could. I don't want that hem. I want to do my own hem. Okay. Alex, why are you deleting all them messages? The makeup was bold and daring. You correct, Steen. Hey, Rhea. She's speaking to everyone. She said she doesn't feel like the drama. She wants to go. Don't let her go. I don't know how old she is. It's too dangerous. Take a friend. Take a family member. Take somebody. I wouldn't do that. That's your child. Ain't none of my business. But I don't see that. Okay. You wasn't around for this time. You should have been. You should have been. It was tumultuous, like I wrote out there. A lot of stuff was going on because of the civil rights movement and protests and stuff like that. But we still had some good times in the 60s. I'm a bigger girl now. I was born in 54, so I'm a small girl now. But I had older brothers, and I'd be right there when they came from the Heads Palladium. And Ike and Tina Turner had gone to the Heads Palladium. That's before they got big. That's when Ike and Tina were on that chitlin circuit. And I'm getting up, or either I'm staying up because I want to hear about the concert that they went to. James Brown coming to town. If he came to the Civic Center, I'm there. Who else used to come to Monroe all the time on that Chitlin Circuit beside James Brown that I would go and see? Oh, God, I can't even remember all them folks. That's been so long ago because I was a girl. It'll come to me. Keisha too dangerous these days to let her go along. I'm telling you, Keisha, I don't want those statistics on her. You the mother. You need to take control of that situation. Connections. Oh, nice. Very nice. Yes. Okay. So let's sail on to the culture. The 60s pop culture in radio, film, television, and books, during with the magazine and music, contributed to a society at a particular time in our lives during the 60s. In essence, the 60s pop culture is a self-portrait created through purchasing power. Remember, we got a lot of power. We got a lot of money. Probably we're better off in the 50s and 60s than we are now. We ain't in no debt. We paid for that stuff as we went back then. Wasn't no credit. They weren't going to give you no credit back then. No way. Not for us. Okay. In the 1960s, nearly half of America's population is under 18. Did y'all hear what I said? In the 1960s, over half of Americans' population is in the 18. Why? Because there's so many children born. That's why. It is a young society and the most affluent generation in U.S. history. All right? They still talking to you about your child, Keisha. I'm going to keep going. So check this out. American teenagers have an estimated $22 billion a year at their disposal. Now, notice I didn't say just Black. I said American children. So they incorporated everybody, had $22 billion at their disposal across the United States. That's unheard of in this day and time. A sum that equals to $140 billion in 2005 dollars. Unbelievable, but true. That really is unheard of. Wow. Yes. Go back and do your history on it. Look it up if you don't believe me. The best-selling books were To Kill a Mockingbird. Some of y'all probably read it. And Valley of the... What is this I done wrote? Hold on, I can't even read my own handwriting. Valley of the... Shoot, y'all, I can't read what the name of the last word is. Valley of the Souls. Lord, I need to do better. Okay? With my handwriting. Because in my old age, I'm going to be writing like a doctor. Love the novel. You read it, huh, Rhea? Yeah. Valley of the Dolls. Baby. Somebody read it. It looked like souls to me. Have me out here telling y'all the wrong thing. Thank you, Lisa. Let's see, where am I? They spend a lot of time reading books to get away from the TV. That's our two sources of entertainment. The color TV had come in, but still there was only so many programs that you could watch because in our small town, we only had two channels. You either watch Channel 8 or you watch Channel 10. Channel 10 never came in good because it came out of Arkansas, okay? And Channel 8 was right there in Monroe. KNOE, Mr. No, owned Channel 8. My parents knew him well. My father sold vegetables to him, supplied all of his food. Yeah. The color TV arrives early in the 60s. So now we have broken away from that black and white box sitting up there with them rabbit ears and that foil paper and all that stuff to try to bring in Channel 10. Because we had some programs we wanted to look at on Channel 10 too. Ain't no cable. What you talking about? Yeah, rabbit ears, okay? At the end of the decade, 95% of homes have at least one TV. In the 60s. In my neighborhood, that was probably maybe 10 TVs total. And we were the first in the neighborhood to get the color TV, the first to get the black and white TV. Because growing up, I remember before then, my grandfather always had a big radio that he listened to. And when Elvis came on, baby, he had gotten blind at that time. He was well into his 80s when I came along. And he would sit in his room in his rocking chair and he would listen to that radio all the time. He had gotten so old he wouldn't even walk out to the store anymore. My grandmama would go out there to the store by herself. And sometimes he'd get up. He knew when that bell was going to ring, when them children was going to come over there. And he had his cane, baby, and he kept law and order almost blind with that cane and could see enough to know what was going on up in there. And he heard very well, okay? The Beatles are heard everywhere. Pocket-sized transistor radio. So we done gone from that big radio to the little transistor radio. You just shit when you got one of them. 8-track tapes are now in the cars. Okay, them rock and ping steering cars. They still in style. So now we got the 8-track. That's the first available music that we can add to the radio. Is an 8-track, like a square box. I ain't got nothing. Oh, probably about this size. Right here. My wallet I got today. Probably about this size with 8-track. And it had a hole like this size. And you stuck it up in there. The only thing about the 8-tracks is it would get stuck. And you would have to take a pencil. We know how to end rig everything. Take that pencil and turn that little thing and try to straighten the tape out. Because once it messed up, your music was going to be messed up too. But we advanced. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk about where we went to. The cassette. It was only around for about a decade in the cars. And then we had 8-track players in the house also. The brother that played professional football bought a car, and my mom bought a car in that era. They both bought Wildcat Buicks back then. And my brothers had the half vinyl top. That's it right there. Okay? They coming out. No, that would have been in the 70s, y'all. Because that would have been 1972. Oh, we'll talk about them tomorrow night. Excuse me. Okay. Portable record players were a big hit if you had one. I've already shown y'all me with my portable record player in my room standing on a picture on one of the videos out here. I remember I had on some navy blue sailor pants and a white turtleneck top, and I'm changing the music. It was 45s, 33s, and 78s, I believe. And I'm changing the music with a little disc where you put in there to keep it from sliding all over. Yeah, can barely even find one today. And if you do, you're going to pay an arm and a leg. So everyone with a radio now is singing along through a thrilling quality of stereo sound on FM broadcast. Elvis is working his thing hard to keep up because music is changing. And this is the era, he's coming out of the 50s, So he had been to the service and come back, and he making music again. That's before his life got in trouble with the drugs and stuff. He's doing the dance and he's doing all that stuff. He had copied off of James Brown. Yeah. But, he did good for his race of people. Yeah. You had 3 channels, ABC, CBS, and NBC. Oh, y'all was in high cotton there, I guess. Hey, Valencia, I already thank you for the necklace. You see, I love it. I'm wearing it and found the earrings in there that went with it. I might have some more. I don't know. I got to look through my little case. Thank you. I appreciate my little birthday present. I wore it all day today. Okay. The color TV has a direct impact on drive in movies. See, y'all don't know nothing about that. That was the thing back in the day, to get in the car, and then we ain't paid, all of us. Too many of us, okay? We ain't finna pay for all that. The trunk we held the trunk down, let a little air in there till we got inside. Then we got out. You could walk around. You could sit on the back of the car. You sit on the side of the car. All kind of stuff was going down. We was having fun. Y'all got so terrible and so bad here. They had to shut the drive-ins down. Y'all out there clowning and fighting and shooting and going on. Made me hot. Sure did. In 1962, there were over 6,000 drive-in movie theaters in the U.S. Walk-in theaters were on the decline because we now got the color TV, and we also got the transistor radio. We got the 8-track in our cars. We can listen to some music now. We ain't just got to wait till our song come on the radio. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do it like we want to. Go out and buy what you want to hear, whatever artist you want to hear. Okay. Also, what I want to tell y'all about that. Okay, so walk-in theaters also are on the decline, and it's changing American history as more people choose to stay at home, pop their own popcorn, drink their own soda pops, or what all y'all call them, soda pops, drinks, cold drinks, whatever you call them, from whatever the neck of the woods you in. Okay, when they came in that little country mom and pop store, my grandmama came out there. It didn't matter what they called them. She knew what they was talking about. Can I have my 15-cent, baby? That's how much they cost in her store when I was growing up. 15 cents. And you could bring the bottle back. I think it was a nickel deposit on them bottles, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And they sure was hustling back up in there too. And when the man brought out the soda pops, he would also pick up the empties, and they would wash them and they would refill them, put a new cap on them. The caps too. It was stuff up underneath some of them caps you could win. The movie industry peaked in 1964 with the release of the 502 films. Box office sales continued to increase, but the selection of films is never again so varied as it still is today. Now let's move on down to a little bit more interesting things that happened in the 60s. Religion. Mainstream religion is on the rise, except in growing, I can't say it, evangelism times. It's relaxed. Non-denominational religions and churches are coming in 1966. There was a magazine out there then called Time. It may be still out there. I don't know. I haven't seen a magazine in so long. Time covered a story with actually asking the question, is God dead? With a big question mark on it. By the end of the decade, 60 million people have moved out of the cities and into the suburbs in search of a brighter, cleaner day. The city was not happening. It wasn't where it was. It was shotgun house. It was row homes if you lived up on the East Coast, which remain there today. It was apartments. Everybody jammed up on each other. Too much going on. It wasn't a desired place to be raising your children with the tumultuous times we're living in. No, So those who could left the city in the 60s. All right. So let me see what y'all are saying here. We had the portable turntable with the TV. Yep. Was that once the portable, I gotta look it up and see, is the long furniture kind of stereo, was that the 60s? I almost want to say it is. I'm not though, because it might have been the 70s, because they came out with that furniture. Look at me, everything had legs on it. I don't care what kind of furniture it was. If it was a sofa, it had some legs on it, and nothing sitting on no floor or on no little piece of wood. Everything. Look back, them 50s and 60s, they leg furniture. Everything. Sofa, coffee table, chairs, everything had legs. I don't know why they did that. Maybe they hadn't thought about not putting legs on there. Could have saved some time and some wood. Valencia, I am so sorry. Didn't even look to see you with it on. Oops, looks beautiful. And I see you have some earrings to match. Beautiful. Yes, I told you I did. When I first looked at it, I said, I got some earrings in there somewhere that'll match. And I do have some like this that'll match. And along the way, I'll find I got this color that'll match, but I got to find this one. What's the bottom one? It's kind of a pinkish. Yeah. Ombre look. And then I can always wear gold earrings because it's got gold in there too. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going. Linda Best, loving your hair, Ms.V. Thank you, Linda. I certainly appreciate that. Something new, something different. Yes, the drive-in movies was the ish. Sting say, what you're talking about, Ms.V. I know all about the drive-in. I know that's right. And it was still going in the 70s. When I moved here from Louisiana, my first boyfriend, who ended up being my husband, we used to go over to the drive-in all the time. And that was our date, going to the drive-in. Yeah. My mom took me to Benji's Drive-In. Okay, Keisha, you know about it too. Valencia, I forgot to tell you the card has a flower that's a sticker. Baby, I already took it off. Where I put it? Oh, it's over there, Keisha, on my bed in the middle of my headboard. I'm ahead of the game. I saw it. I told you it was beautiful. I looked at it, and when I first saw the card, I said, "Oh, I'm taking this off." But I don't throw my cards away anymore. I keep all my cards in a little box down here in my nightstand. Yeah. Every now and then I might want to go down there in my old age and look at it and wonder, where is Valencia now? You know, if I live to be 80 or 90 years old or 100, and you can't tell about me. 5 cents. Linda's agreeing. Okay, it's 5 cents. Y'all taking me back 100 years, seem like. Sting say, yes, ma'am, you can get a bag of chips and a soda for 25 cents. Okay, let me stop right there. I know I missed some when I was talking. Y'all gonna let me go back up? Okay, let's see how far up I gotta go. Y'all were talking about the outfits when we were on that and the makeup. I just don't want to miss nobody's comment. It might be important. Okay, I read all of that. Okay, Keisha says her daughter is 24 and paid $600 for her ticket. Not many will do that. Not me either. I ain't never gonna pay no $600. Ain't nobody that important to me. No, but that's today's children, Keisha. You know, hey, she paid for it. That's cool. That's her money. But don't you be hollering on the phone talking about you need some money for no bill. And I ain't finna do that. And you should have thought about that when you was talking about that $600 ticket. Kara Anna said, Ms.V, the trolls are eating up that chat. I am here to back up Alice if she misses one. Woo! Yeah. Well, I hope my views sky out the roof. I hope I hit 10,000 in views. Okay? 30 seconds. That's what they need. Let's see. I'm moving on up here, moving on up to the top. Okay. Guess I will be in the concert in the back. You got to do something, Keisha. I don't know what to tell you as a mother, but all I know is I wouldn't let my child go out there. They called them hippies, and they were all about love, peace, and happiness. Yes, ma'am. And freedom. They wanted to just be free. Okay. They ain't want no problems. Get high off of some marijuana and just be happy. That's it. They were happy people. That was the introduction coming into the 70s with marijuana in my neck of the woods. If you have to, Keisha, yes, that. Okay, says Candy. All right. I read all of these. So I guess I'll go back down to the bottom. Thank you for telling me, Kara Anna, what that book was, because I couldn't read my own handwriting. Valley of the Dolls. Thank you. I appreciate that, Kara Anna. I remember moving the coat hanger in the 70s. What you mean you remember removing? I remember moving the coat hanger in the 70s. Come on, Keisha. I don't know what you're talking about. Moving it where? Y'all, I had a trunk that came off a ship. I never got it appraised or anything. It's in storage. It's blue. When she said hangers, when you open up this trunk, it's like a closet. It had a little row for wooden hangers in it. It had drawers you pull out. This was actually what the very wealthy people took on their ships, like probably the Titanic back in the day. We know it didn't come out for there because everything went under water on there. but it's beautiful, and it's got blue velvet lining all around it. And it was an old trunk that was at my father's sister's house. And when she passed, she had two of them. My sister got one, and I got one. And it is the most beautiful piece of furniture. When I was in the larger houses, I actually had it displayed in the family room. And, put things in it and on top of it or whatever, hung a shirt in there and something else just to let people see it. It was a beautiful piece of furniture. Uh, Shinsu, hi, how are you doing? Valencia speaking to everybody. Let me get on down. Okay, I'm going back to the bottom now. We were at the movies. I forgot to tell you the call. Okay, I read that. Okay, I'm getting on down. I hope I'm not missing anybody. Yes, Time still publishes a magazine. Thanks, Carol because I haven't seen one in years. Most of the places I go to don't carry magazines, like down to the Oasis. If I just want to run in a little convenience store, I don't know where I have to go, probably to a bookstore, a library, or somewhere like that. Okay. That style of furniture is also coming back. I've seen it, Carol Anna, in stores. You are so right. The Star Furniture went out of business in Dickinson, and I just went in there to see what they had left, and some of that furniture was in there for sale, and you could have got dirt cheap when they were selling out. That was a huge store. I don't know how many feet it was, but it was big, like a Macy's store. Lots of furniture in there. But they sold out pretty quick. I'm thinking that they sold to other furniture stores, as well as maybe put some furniture in those Salvation Armies that carry furniture that you can buy real cheap, and then they're going to write it off at the end of the year. I got to have a drink, y'all. I'm getting thirsty here. Water. Ma'am, that's it. The long one with the stereo on the top and the TV on the bottom, speakers on the side. Okay, Sting. Okay. Hi, Maddie girl. How you doing? Welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Come on in. Chat with us. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Become a member. We good people over here. We don't bother nobody. We just come out here and have fun on a virtual cruise ship, sailing around the world, meeting people, called the Fantastic Voyage. You remember the McClinton triple? I don't remember them, Steve. Steve? Loving Me Tracy said, I made it in tonight, Miss V. Hey, Loving Me Tracy, how's it going? Drive-in theaters were still around in the early 90s in Southern California. Oh, man. I wish by the end of the 70s, they were gone in my area here. Yeah. I'm surprised they never asked customers to open the trunk. Never. It would be 3 or 4, however many could fit off in there without smothering. That's how many would be in the trunk. And sometimes it would be so funny when we get in and we get parked and everything, and they would come around on skates at our drive-in and take your popcorn order and your candy order, your chip order, and your drink order. And all of a sudden you hear them trucks coming up and people hopping out. It would be so fun. Had the nerves to bring their own lawn chairs. Oh, Lord. Yes, I'm still do good. Go to the drive-in theaters here in Vegas. You know what? I did see one in Vegas when I was out there for my little brief stay. Loving Me, Tracy. Just so hot. I ain't want to sit out there in the heat. That's what it was. TTK champion, can you sub? I am so close to 50. TTK champion, can you sub? I am so close. Baby, come back with that. I don't know what you mean. Can I sub? Do you have a channel? Talk to me. Come on back. Let's see. Hello, everyone, Ms. V. I remember when my dad took us to see Let's Do It again, and we was all in the trunk. I used to love drive-in movies. That was, baby, when I had a date on a Saturday night or Friday night, whatever. We didn't go out too much on Sunday nights. It was just church on Sunday. It was family stuff on Sunday. But a Friday night and a Saturday night, and we went to the drive-in, that was cool to me. And I mean, you knew everybody out there because the little town wasn't that big. Candy John saying, wow, Ms.V, that's an antique. Yeah. Uh-huh. Sandra, I had friends that would be in the trunk when we went. That was the thrill. Yes, ma'am. I have my grandmother's sewing machine with the pedal that you pushed up and down like that too. In the original cabinet. Yeah. And I have the other grandmother's buffet. So I got a few antiques. Yeah. Let's see. B Smittish, hi, how you doing this evening? I'm trying to catch up with my chat now. Alex say trolls not tonight. Okay, it was a drive-in and Hiram Clark. See, I never lived inside of Houston. I never went to that one. But I bet that was fun too, because Hiram Clark is fun. Now I used to work with a lady that lived in Hiram Clark. When I was out at Amoco. Mary was her name. And she used to come all the way from Hiram Clark to Alvin, Texas to work. And we had to be clocked in at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know what time Mary got up because she had two little bitty boys at the time. And she and her husband went through a divorce when the last one was born. Okay. Hey, Kelly. I'm good, Kelly. Thanks for watching. Okay, so I'm at the end of that. So let's wrap it up. The 60s was a tumultuous period in American history. The pressures of civil rights and racial equality combined with increasingly violent political radicalism, I guess I want to say, stretched the fabric of American society. Overseas, the Cold War and the struggle to contain the further inequality and racism, spread of communism, assassination of people, and policy was very present during that time. So we have been sailing around the world here tonight, picking up people and talking about the 60s. It has been a joy. It has been a pleasure. I'm right up on my hour, a little bit over. I told you it doesn't matter how long I stayed here. Okay. Bakissi, have a good night, rest of y'all's night. We appreciate that. And what else I want to say? So I read all of the comments. I don't think I missed anybody. So tomorrow night we have hit the 50s. Tonight was the 60s. Tomorrow night will be the 70s. And you'll be able to see the difference from decade to decade. It'll be actually 3 of them we will have to compare tomorrow night. Mr. You are so welcome. It's been a great evening spending with y'all out here on this fantastic voyage. Hope you have enjoyed the live. I'll catch y'all tomorrow night, same time, hopefully around the same time. I know. And if I don't, I'll put it on my community wall for you tomorrow, okay? Y'all have a great night. Love you much. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. Let's sail. Talk to you tomorrow. Later.